Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you guys for joining me again. My name is Wilkie and I'm here with another Shadow Arena video. We're going to be doing another Patchnote recap. Today's patch recapitulation is going to be the update on the October 8th, which was yesterday, or by the time this video is going to be released was 2 days ago. And this was a rather, I'd say, a pretty decent update in terms of size. However, there are a few quirks and issues that I wanted point out. So first of all, a very good thing, promotion match improvement. If there are more than 8 tier difference between the rivals, the lower tier hero will be promoted if they defeat the higher tier rival hero. So the problem with the old system was that if you had a rival in the game and your tiers were more than 8 tiers apart, for example somebody was in bronze 5 and his rival was in diamond 1, there were more than 8 tiers in between them. So none of them could promote. Even the weaker bronze player, even if he, in the case he would be winning against the diamond tier player, would still not be promoted. And they just addressed that so that even if you have more than 8 tiers between the rivals, if the lower tier person manages to defeat them or play better or kind of like fulfill their promotion, they will still get promoted. I think this is a very good change because it was incredibly frustrating when somebody in bronze, silver, or any other lower tier, so to speak, managed to win and still didn't get promoted, especially since the game was not very clear about that. So I think this is a very good change. Deathmatch got changed. I'm gonna skip over this because I never touched on Deathmatch once, and by the time I got back from vacation I have not managed to play one single round of Deathmatch, so all the stuff here really is out of my head. I don't know how the system exactly works, so I can't really give you something about that. Weapon skins. This is another big part, and I'll slap some screenshots in here. Those are the ones that I bought. There are other people that have posted screenshots on Discord in regards to other weapons. Some of these are okay, I think. Some others are meh. I mean, Gorgath, for example, didn't have a weapon at all, and I think his orbs or balls or whatever you want to call them look pretty good, actually. They don't exactly fit the theme of his skin, like his tone in general. It's more like a brown, leathery, dirtish. Well, he uses rocks as his element, right, or earth, but they don't exactly coherent with that general appearance, but they do look nice. Goyen's skin, for example, I think it's a little bit too pointy. They could have done a better job. Pagal's skin is okay, it's not too bad. And Badal's skin, good lord, what did they do? And yeah, like I said, Haru, I've seen Haru, it doesn't look that good. Ahankirus looks okay. But yeah, some of these are pretty good. The biggest takeaway though is that those are for silver. Like, you can buy those in-game with silver, which is incredibly good. You don't have to spend real money. I think this is a very nice thing. I just wish they would have given us different options, or maybe another option on top of that to recolor the weapons or change them a little bit. May that be a sparkle, may that be just a color or a shade, make it like darker, lighter, yellow, blue, red, something like this. I know I keep on rambling on about this, but maybe one day we'll get it. There are a few hero changes, not too many though. Fixed an intermittent issue where the chest does not show when you cheer from obtaining a red grade or higher item. So generally there are some fixes where if you've noticed that if you pick up a red item you do this Lotus celebration where he does like a fist pump, and that sometimes bugs out. And fix an issue where the chest is still shown in your hand when using a skill, so sometimes the image of the chest is still following around. Fruitjudine fixed an issue where you cannot cancel basic attack with Dark Shift or Blink when crouched. I think this is more of a general issue, but Ahankirus. Honestly, I talked to a bunch of people and they said it's not going to be a big deal. I do think it's going to be a big deal, because while she has not been picked as often, and generally I don't think she has ever been picked often, but I think this one here is a little bit too much. I don't know how exactly it plays out, and there are some viable restrictions to that, because most of the time you will not prioritize leveling 3 over other abilities. However, in the event that you do get your full skill points unlocked, this is gonna be scary if you'll manage to land Ahon's 1 and 3 for some absolutely heavy damage reduction or defense reduction. So I think this is quite scary. Not sure how it plays out. I don't play Ahankirus very often, so fix an issue with the chest, so similar to that. Unleash the Beast, fix an incorrect super armor duration, and that you were not be able to cancel out. So some heroes had the issue where they could not cancel themselves out of animations. I think this is fixed most of the time. Heroine can now do multiple freezes in a row. So before the patch, when you did a freeze by either pressing F or 1, you could not follow up with the other one. So, for example, if you managed to did a point blank 1, if you pressed your dagger for another freeze, you would knock them out of the freeze. I don't know how viable or how important a freeze into freeze is, but at least it's not possible. So for those of you who are wondering what this is all about, now you can change freeze into freeze without breaking it. Haru got a nerf, and I think actually one of this might hurt her a little bit more than some of the others. The bleeding got reduced quite a bit, and prior to that, Haru could literally win a fight by just poking with 1 and backing off to not take risks, and the bleeding was quite heavy to essentially cancel out your potions with 2000 damage, and now it's reduced to 1200. So that's round about a nerf by 40%. I think that's pretty good, but generally, I still think Haru has some issues with that. But generally, I think this is a step in the right direction. Badal got a slight buff. Some people are saying Badal is now overpowered, which is absolutely not true. I did a couple of games with Badal, but he definitely is not back to his old glory. The stamina regen speed is one thing. The problem with this is there still is not really a window where you are able to use those auto attacks, because the CC duration on all moves besides F have been reduced to a pulp. Thunderbreaker doesn't CC as long anymore. Grab is essentially non-existent because you can't really cancel into the first hit anymore. And Helix, I think, is 0.6 seconds or so, so at best you're maybe getting 1 auto hit in. So I don't think that's gonna be a big change here. This one, on the other hand, is a little bit of a nice touch because the old grab range was a little bit too large, but apparently it's not too large because they turn it back on. So we're slowly getting Badal, not really reworked, but sorta in back to like his old state. I'm not exactly sure what the devs are planning to do that. Same goes for Goyen. There are some issues with Dark Shift and Blink. For Orwen, there is some changes to her explosion trap. And Venslaar. Now, I haven't tried Venslaar after the patch yet. What's kind of scary is this one here, right? So if you ult 2, which is her charge move, before that you could instantly perform an attack after the strike. Now you're able to turn more easily while dashing. I haven't tested it myself yet, so I don't exactly know how big of a deal that is. But if she can redirect the charge more than she was able to do before, it's gonna be a huge issue because dodging the charge was already quite difficult. And if she's able to redirect, there's literally only a few heroes that are able to dodge because they either have a reliable iframe like Ahun Kuros on her RMB, or other heroes that have like guaranteed super armor to get out of harm's way, like Goyen, Bari, or other heroes that like could move out of the way quickly. I have not tested this one yet, but generally this sounds a little bit scary. We have yet to see how that plays out though. Gorgath, I don't understand why they are rambling on about his forbidden alchemy. It's a gimmick, and I think everybody agrees that this is always going to be a gimmick. For some reason, they're trying to incorporate this into his everyday, I don't know, like his actual combat, which makes no sense because it's not a combat ability. That's just not what it is. And yeah, like we're sort of back to almost how it used to work before it got changed. We shall see how this plays out. Especially this one here, where they say that the skill can be used more aggressively. I don't think this skill is supposed to be used aggressively. He has enough offense and tools at his hand to kill people when he engages or when they engage on him. He definitely does not need to use Forbidden Alchemy for that. Sura, like I said, a bit of a different check. Bari and Hailang. So Bari got another buff, basic attack speed, a motion cancelling for forward attack. The damage of sprint jump attack got increased by 25%. That's quite a big one. Improved to be able to quickly attack after a sprint jump attack. For some reason, Bari is the only hero that needs that. I'm not sure why. This one's a little bit of a bummer that other heroes don't get that. And some other stuff that replies or works into Hailang, because sometimes the respawn didn't work, and generally Hailang was a little bit of a hit or miss. I still think Hailang is going to cause some issues, but generally they're trying to address those. Right, so there's a few stuff about the skills here, but I'm just gonna skim over Bari because I still think the way she is currently in the game is not fitting for it. Some people do play her, I still think she's not a good hero by design. Alright, Shadow Lord fixed an intermittent issue where both Shadow Lords and Sealed Relic Towers could be stuck in terrain that you probably have witnessed, that both Shadow Lords and towers could spawn like on the windmill, on certain buildings, or the Colosseum where you spawn on top of that, so they were unreachable. And they definitely, I mean, I don't know why it took so long to check that or to change that, but at least it seems to be now changed. Fixed an issue with monsters only registering one hit in the hitbox when a bot attacks. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Fixed an issue where there was a collision on a spot where a bot dies, probably hitbox lingering. This is gonna be probably the worst change for the game in its current state. Now hear me out on this one. Generally, I think it's a good change, because this will prevent people from playing bot-only games. The problem is, since they are not actively trying to get players to play their game, or not even trying to get the old players back, for any other server other than the Asian server, I'm not sure how the North American server is, but I think they suffer the same issue. South America and Europe at least, it's hard to get games going, because you need at least 5 real players per lobby. And I streamed this game on Thursday, and I'm trying to stream this game on Saturday as well again. And it was difficult. I waited for a good 10 to 15 minutes in certain occasions to get a game going, because people weren't joining, and you literally only need 5 people to play the game. So in essence, that means even during prime time, we don't really have a consistently 5 player base playing the game. Just kind of scary if you think about it. Layton got a little bit of a nerf. I don't know how exactly it plays out, but you can't combo auto attacks into laser anymore, because the basic attack only stiffens now. We don't know how long the stiff is, but it definitely seems like they're removing the blowback into wall death combo, where it could like just use auto attacks and blowback in between with the laser. Increase the time Layton can consecutively use the laser, and fix some sound issues. There are some events that are kinda over now, and that is it. The only other thing that kinda may be interesting for some people is, I think, this. UI settings. This is a very large portion of the community is asking for this. I'm not sure why, because I think the UI is one of the better things about the game. But there might be some people, or there are some people that definitely do have an issue with that. So I think that's a good thing. Also, they added a retry button. That one's a pretty neat feature too. You now can like instantly go back to the hero selection screen. It's more of a quality of life than it's gonna be a huge deal, but it is there. I use it, it works. It's a good thing. Last but not least, this is all for the patch note talk. Like I said, this one here made it quite difficult for me to find games. I don't know how it's gonna play out on the weekend. Right now though, the player base is at an alarmingly low rate, where it's barely possible to get games outside of pre-made lobbies or actually are asking for people to come join. So that's a little bit of a problem. As far as myself goes, like I said, I'm gonna be streaming. I will release this video on Saturday, so I'm gonna be trying to stream at least on that occasion, but we shall see that. As usual, I will always go back to my regular streaming schedule on Monday, 1700 CEST, and at least another day per week. Like I said, in this week there's 3 days where I'm going to be streaming. Other weeks there might only be 2 days, so keep your eyes peeled on my Twitter and Discord, YouTube, or Twitch itself, where I will be announcing the streams that are to follow. And like I said, Monday is definitely fixed day. As far as that goes, this is all for today's patch note talk. I hope to see some of you playing the game, because like I said, with this change that you currently see on the screen, we definitely do need more people playing, because otherwise most people will simply get driven off because they can't find a game. So yeah, we shall see how it plays out. For now, I think it's not the greatest change they could have done with. Anyways, this is all. Like I said, catch me on stream or in future videos. I'm playing Lost Ark on the meantime because sometimes Jet Arena just didn't give me any lobbies, so I'm PvPing in Lost Ark. And I'm dabbling around with some single-player games here and there, so be sure to check it out. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time, so have a good one, and see ya.